Hello and welcome back to Warframe. Last time we ended up going kind of back to 1999 at the beginning, and then escaped 1999, or at least that story aspect ended. Talked to Lloyd, he had us go get a new board so the computer works. Saw the man in the walls, sitting around being creepy like always, piloting one of these big dudes like they're a mech, like some kind of Discount Dan's Gundam. And I guess we're hopping back into the internet and going back to 1999.
Arthur, Tenno, forgive me. I need Lloyd to understand why I had to leave without him. Why I forced him to destroy the device after I had gone. And why I could never say the words he so needed to hear.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say Lloyd and Albrecht Entrati are gay. Just the way this is written, it sounds like that.
If I had remained in the Deimos laboratory, Lloyd would never have been safe from him. You know of what I speak. And so I retreated to the only place in history where that entity could not easily follow, to draw his greedy eye away from Lloyd. Tenno, I require your trust. Craft the little curio whose blueprints you will find in the computer's memory. Complete the Kalimos sequence. Repair. Rebuild. When the time is right, find me.
The skin of a martyr doesn't suit you, Albrecht. If something mattered, he'd have found a way. It's too late. You heard him, Tenno. He requires your trust. So craft the bloody thing.
Oh, I have to go back to my orbiter to do that. Alright. Okay, so we made the Jahu gargoyle. Man in the walls was there, he just kind of stared at me. Lloyd is like, okay, cool, you made it, come back and we'll see what it does. So he didn't miss anything. Congratulations, we have placed a knick-knack. We have now improved the feng shui of this room.
Albrecht may have told you to build that thing, but given how he used people and threw them away, he may not have cared for your safety. If that gargoyle is a threat, you must take it from the sanctum immediately. Now, activate it.
Activate the gargoyle. Improve your chi.
At last! If ignorance is bliss, then you, Tenno, must be ecstatic. Come on then, bring it closer. Wakey, wakey.
Where did that come from? Identify yourself!
Please, Lloyd, let them figure it out. Here, in the jar. What? The fish with the big brain? Yes, the fish with the big brain. Can we please finally get this interminable process over with?
Albrecht used you to give the Cavia a voice. just as he used me to keep them alive. Such a resourceful man.
So, here we are then, the best of what's left. Clearly, Papa's plan was countered. Color me surprised. Right then, we may proceed with the sequence.
You animals have observed us all this time, have you not? You've given yourself a role in the sequence?
Indeed we have. Come, Lloyd. It's named after Papa's favorite pet. Spare the rod and spoiled. We know the fragmented ones are heralds of the indifference. We know the chosen operator must summon and destroy them. And regrettably, you, Lloyd, have made this impossible.
Choose your words carefully, fish.
Tenno, the Grimoire is incomplete. The final page hidden away by Lloyd. Be a darling and retrieve it. That's all. Run along.
So be it. The gift of decency was clearly not bestowed upon the Cavia, Tenno. But I cannot deny the page's current status is lost.
Talk! Talk! I can talk! Hey, hey! Oh, Mr. Lloyd! Mr. Lloyd! Where is Papa? Why did Papa leave us? Mr. Lloyd!
Papa is gone. We could all be gone too. In an instant. Like... We have to keep quiet.
Okay.
Allow me to boil this down for you. Should the indifference's corrupting touch reach us and take back our speech, we would be screwed. So, real love, and eradicate the murmur in this patch before the big bad gets word that Lloyd's awake and the fish is talking.
Tenno, there is some truth to what fish says. That page was the last thing my Albrecht ever wrote. Meant for me. Since I had no interest in reading his endless self-justifications, I hid it away instead. But with all this chaos, it's undetectable.
Yeah, I will say, one problem Warframe has had for a while is the adjective game, where this is common in a lot of writing.
Is missing a digit. It is confined to the strands of Kra. Don't ask, your tiny mind would likely pop under the strain of understanding. This limitation is our one hope.
Do not patronize the Tenno fish. The strands of Kra are merely void renderings of the chains of cause and effect. Conceptually embodied timelines, if you will.
Papa's daughter excelled at explaining complicated concepts in childish terms. I see now where she learned it.
Okay, everybody shut up for once, cool. But yeah. A lot of fantasy, a lot of sci-fi does this. Like with The Indifference. A name that is spoken like it's supposed to mean something when to us it's completely pointless. You see it especially in especially fantasy. Where it's like, oh, you don't know of the mighty Megasplax? And you're like, dude, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's just like, oh, the mighty Megasplax is a hero from a long-forgotten age. It's like, at a certain point, you gotta cut that crap out. Because you either have to, at that point, you have to write in explanations for everything and have people who are essentially just walking lore dumps and exposition, or you have to have a sequel. You know, this has to be things that you kind of touch on in your first game or your first quest line, and then when it comes back, you're going, oh damn, that's the thing? As opposed to just going, yeah, lay it on me, tell me whatever usually inane information this is. But I will, as I've been praising, like, this update and this mission and everything, I don't think it's bad. It's just, like I said, exposition is kind of needed, or you need to kind of introduce this stuff a bit more slowly. Because I honestly feel like we're hit with so many villains that the value of the villains kind of gets diminished. Like, what's Alad V doing? What's Vor? What's Lek Krill? What's any of the Grimoire Corpus bad guys doing? We know some new guy hijacked, I think it's Era, his body. Who they teamed up with, God. What's his nuts to create Murmur?
Arousing as I'm sure this is, the rest of us are moments away from an extinction grim, black, and final. So, if you would be so kind, finish up so I can point you toward that sodding page.
Yeah, like, we have all these villains that we're just not really touching on, and then we're introducing more. That it feels like it allows time to build up between things, but it reminds me of Destiny, with the shonen anime syndrome of you introduce a new bad guy and you either beat him or he just kind of lingers around not doing much. You know, your options are, they're either villains end up being like Frieza, where they keep coming back every once in a while when it seems like all the other bad guys are dealt with and you got a lull.
Now please, the page.
Or the other option is you have enemies like, I'm trying to think, like Janemba, where he shows up once and it's like, oh man, Janemba, and then it's like, yeah, we're done, moving on. Guy who is supposed to be the embodiment of all evil in hell, yeah, he's defeated, moving on. But Frieza, though, we gotta show you Frieza. We gotta show you 6 stages of Frieza. Gotta show Frieza Gold. Gotta introduce Mecha Frieza and have him get destroyed. Then we gotta introduce Golden Frieza. Then we gotta introduce Frieza Black. Where you kind of reach a point where you're like, look, I'm sick of this villain. It's a balancing act. You gotta have a good big bad, or you gotta kind of space them out in a believable manner.
It's done. Keep it to yourself, Tenno. I'm damned if I'm giving Albrecht the last word.
Wilhelm raps upon the untimed door and sends Grimoire. We are undone. We've been rumbled.
Tenno, are you there? Oh, thank Void. Listen, the Murmur diverted your extraction jump. We need you back at the Sanctum, now! Hurry!
Yeah, I could definitely see them adding like a fireball and some other spells. When do I get Cloud Kill?
It takes and it takes. It took my future. It's taking the labs inch by inch. Well, I won't let it take his bloody Cavia!
Also, that audio glitch was not my recording software, that's just weird audio glitch.
Indifference seeks a path through the walls, and then Tenno, through you. Keep it at bay.
Yeah, the tide is back.
The strand holds. The indifference approaches. Soon, it will take on mass.
And see, a villain like this, I feel like needs more than just like one story expansion. Because this is interesting, like, oh, who's the fragmented one? This horde of God knows what these are meant to be. That's interesting. And I fear that this is gonna be something where it's, oh, we defeated the man in the wall and they'll come back eventually, but we're not getting this anytime soon.
Get out! There's nothing for you here! Get out!
Tinu! The Grimoire must speak with its own voice.
Quick, knick-knack, read!
Lloyd, you gave me back my sight, but I would not spare you a glance. You gave me back my voice, but I never spoke to praise you as I should have. For you were my right hand, my strength, my support, my sanctuary. Even when the galleries hurled scorn upon me, your sole desire was to suffer it in my stead.
What, I gotta turn the page for you too?
On your first day of service, you aspired to be worthy of me. I only wish that I could have been worthy of you, my lord.
Are we gonna like rip the man in the wall out of the other giant guy? Touch. Well, that was lame.
Tenno. No. Operator.
The strand of claw has been cut, while the indifference remains undeterred. I foresee a grim and continuing struggle to safeguard Papa's laboratory from its fell and ruinous grasp.
Indeed. I shall not waver.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it, bro, what the hell? Why did we even have to go back to 1999 if it was literally like one sequence?
Protect the vessels. Repair. Rebuild. So runs the Kalimo sequence. And such is our task. In the version of the past we saw, my Albrecht said we were too late. The solution, naturally, is to arrive on time next time. You keep the Murmur at bay, I shall fulfill my role. Punctuality. The Entrati family never could arrive on time without my help. And so, here I am, back to my old role, the diligent servant. Albrecht would have smiled at that, I think.
What did he say to you right before he left?
He said,
Oh, we get a choice. That it was always watching.
do not let it see you weeping, Lloyd.
We had a deal. The deal was shook. A little handshake, all it took. Though from the deal, the wee child ran.
Yet still, we end as we began.
A vision of the past promised a bleak future, but the unexpected assistance of the Cavia offered a precious second chance. With a memory of love holding indifference at bay, Lloyd prepares to send you back, and perhaps this time you will not be late.
One must make the best of things.
Yeah, so... well, let's kind of do a breakdown here. I'm gonna fire up a mission running through whatever. Somehow I gotta figure out this area.
That you're here, Tenno. You've met the animals? The catastrophe Albrecht saddled me with? Well, any ideas? Their roles were intended to be filled by qualified personnel. People! Instead, we have... this. It's bad comedy. They're imprinted with whatever information they need to function, and an understanding of our current state of affairs, including Albrecht's absence. They were sent into the void using a bell of the same design that Albrecht initially used. The void got in, somehow. Again. One of the animals was lost, and the rest came back like that. We placed them in stasis, pending a proper examination. For them, the disaster, intelligence, and selfhood all occurred only hours ago. They're psychological shrapnel, and they're all we've got. See what you can do with them. I simply do not have the time. All satisfactory.
Okay, I was hoping he'd be the mission guy. I'm gonna run and check and see if we got any free weapons. Actually, no, this would be the only thing is the book. Well, either way, I'm putting another... I'm polarizing this thing because it needs to be polarized. There, that'll get me another thing. I'll have to put 2 in, which is a little tedious, but whatever. Let's try to find a quest giver here.
Pull it together. Do it. 1 minute, I existed only to eat and flee and breed. The next, I was me. But men, did men have time to be men? Before... She and I, we were the last. Did you know that? Without her, there's no more us. No more tag fur and men. No soft calls. No gentle nuzzling muzzle. No little tag furs. No little mins. Ever. Fibonacci says we have to trust that it's all part of Papa's plan. How? Why? And now, I have a purpose. So the fish says, to help you in the ways in which I have been instructed. But all I want is to be with her. Min. Papa never wanted anyone to know what he was up to. That's why he built the Netra cells.
Okay.
Little hideaway vaults. Not even Lloyd knows what he got up to in there. I want to know. I can get you into the anchor. So, that's all?
So, can't run those. At least solo.
Oh, hey.
Gonna have to listen to everybody talk.
Mr. Tagfer is very still and very quiet. Like a dead thing in the hot green thing I think that came from. Jungle. He must be practicing. Mr. Tagfer? Wow, he's really good at that. Dead thing. Is Min a dead thing? Can my friends be dead things? Can I be a dead thing? Oh, Papa will bring her back. Papa can do that. Papa will let us be dead things. Papa, Bark loves us. Yes, Bark. Yes, Bark. Bark. Mr. Fishanachi. He'd know. Papa's plan, he said. So, Like him?
Okay, so he's the rep vendor. All the Korvax stuff is way down there. Okay, that's the hammer. Didn't know if we got that for free or not. Decorations. Okay, what's Fibonacci got then?
Come. We have much to accomplish. Ah, yes. Operator, correct? Drifter, perhaps? You'll find our merry band share that unconventional relationship with their appellations. I am Fibonacci. Papa's design has uplifted me to function as the coordinating factor of this little group. You, may have heard that one of our number was consigned to paradise before our return from the void. Min, Tagfer's mate. Yes, most unfortunate. Too often it is the good and the young who forge our future, laying their lives upon progress's unfeeling anvil. Now, let us apply ourselves to the grand work at hand and deny our minds melancholy's frigid caress. To work!
Okay, yeah, bounties. Yes, we'll just pick that, go do it. Yeah, kind of wish I knew where I was going, because I'm just going in a direction. Oh, here we go.
I will not lie. This is a risky gambit. You are here to draw out Murmur and then grind them down. Fight them out there, so we need never
Oh, it's survival.
again
Okay.
battle them in here. Trigger the alarms.
But now we have essentially infinite time here.
Our foes
This...
have compromised the habitation systems. How predictable. Stand by for life support.
Okay, now I should be done talking, at least for a bit. Yeah, so, like, the enemies and the environments for this are really good. The Entrati Lloyd bit, like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, ugh, they're two dudes, that's gross. Like, I don't care. I just also feel like it just comes off as kind of bleh when it's like, oh yeah, so here's these new characters, you know nothing about them. It feels like kind of a cheap attempt at kind of pulling you in. When it's like, no, who, Jerry, genuinely, who the hell is Albrecht Entrati? With these bits like, oh, when I was, you know, criticized or whatever, you stood by me. Dude, what were you criticized for? Was this lore just sandwiched somewhere that I missed, or what's the deal? I'd like to know more about these characters, because right now they just feel like cardboard cutouts. And it's not the kind of, like, setting up something where you're like, oh man, I can't wait to figure out what's next. It's more of me just sitting here kind of groaning. Just like, come on, dude, give me something here. What? I'm gonna figure out how to find these void rigs. Yeah, it just feels kind of bland. It's like when you're walking by NPCs in a game and they'll have some deep thing where it's like, oh, I can't believe this happened, or oh man, I lost my wife here, and you're like, okay. The seriousness of the situation does not feel that serious in this situation because I don't know this character. I don't know what's going on, and I don't feel like I am really being compelled to care. It feels more like just an instance of, yep, things are happening, that's all. The Grimoire, like I said, it's a cool item. The fact that it has its own unique mods is cool. It's gonna need support, otherwise it's going to be a dead weapon. And that's kind of my concern, is a dead weapon, or at least a dead, I guess, dead archetype. Because if it ends up being a dead archetype, that sucks. but the way it's kind of structured makes me think it's going to be a dead archetype. And I'd rather see these weapons get more support and be viable than not. Dude, where are these rogue void rigs?
Time and oxygen are running out.
So it's... Considering this is setting up for another story, and since this is the Man in the Wall, we know this ties into the Man in the Wall and all the stuff we've seen him in. We saw him during the stuff with the Lotus and Murmur. So we at least know that there's more to come. But I definitely stand by what I said. Why did we have to go back to 1999?
They are so distracted by your attack that I am able to siphon valuables from
Like, it feels pointless to have introduced that element of the story to go, okay, yeah, here's one mission. Not even a mission, it was just a side part. Just going, yep, here you go, this is what's going on. Hope you enjoyed. Now we're gonna just not touch on this again. It feels, I'm not gonna say it feels like a slap in the face, because it isn't some obscene, like, mistreatment. It's just, it feels like a story beat that needed to be expanded on. I would have liked to kind of understand what's going on more, instead of just going, yep, here's Entrati, he's there, even though this whole story, oh, there's the Necromech, or the Void Rig. But instead of just going, oh yeah, he's there, moving on, well, what's going on? What is the situation? Otherwise it just feels boring. And feels like something that didn't need to exist. You could have easily just said, oh, he went through time. You don't need specifics, because the specifics here aren't helping.
Seconds.
God, at this rate I'm gonna have to just take out, like, my flamethrower and stuff, which I didn't really want to take out because that kind of takes away from the fun. We'll actually make our way to extract. I got the 2 void rigs somehow. That's all I really wanted to do. If I'm gonna run these, I'll run these with a group. No sense running solo dolo. Yeah, I hope next update, expansion, story bit touches on that again. I'd like to kind of see what's going on with the rest of the galaxy, what's going on with the Grimoire. Because we just kind of left them where they are and are just like, yep, we defeated the queens, or one of them, and we're gone.
Chosen operator, a friendly suggestion. You could do so much more with those melee weapons of yours. I donate my wisdom on both tool and technique. Listen well. Tenukai, a fighting technique fusing void and bestial instinct. Raw power. While I have never used Tennokai, I understand it perfectly. Somewhat of a mind master. Enough so that lost materials pertaining to Tennokai have been stored just out of my reach in the sanctum. Tools. Papa was not one to rest. Use this segment to unlock more potential for your arsenal. The arcane was an art and science that Papa studied well. The convexity of my bowl a magnifying glass on his research, and now your gain. Install this segment, acquire melee arcanas, find Tennokai modules, and observe the results. A swift deletion of your foes.
Okay. Tennokai? Do I just get to, like, brawl?
Tenno. The Warframe Corvex was designed by my Albrecht's own hand to protect the chosen operator from the hazards of his laboratory. This design is yours, by right. I intend to keep the promise I made to him. When the time is right, and the equipment prepared, I will assist you to travel back to the past, to the pivotal year of 1999. Perhaps, between us, we may change history. Lloyd.
Okay, yeah, so at some point, we're going to 1999. Still would have preferred, like, another little mission for that, but oh well. It's a start to probably another whole story arc. But that is all for now. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to hit the like button, it helps out the channel a lot, and if you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.